accomplishments of the Department of Interior and Local Government and the Department of Tourism. Joining us today are DILG Undersecretary Jonathan E. Malaya for Plans, Public Affairs, and Communication, and DOT Director Virgilio M. Magidad of the Office of Tourism Standards and Regulation. Again, welcome to our Kapihan session with our media partners for today. We would like to remind our media partners that for our question and answer, we will be allowing you to raise your hands and to ask our speakers for today your questions directly. So the Safety Seal program is a partnership with other national government agencies, granting the safety seal to tourism establishments who complied with the minimum public health standards. This program aims to assure the consumers and the public in general of the establishment's compliance with the health standards set by the government to safely reopen the economy. And now, to know about the accomplishments of the DOT and the DILG on their implementation of Safety Seal, for the first part, may I call on Director Magidad to present the Safety Seal accomplishments of the Department of Tourism. Director, whenever you're ready po.
Yeah, thank you, Aki, for this opportunity and for the DOH for inviting the DOT to partake in this particular Kapihan, in order for us to be able to share accomplishments of the various government agencies. And for this case, I'll be presenting the ones for the DOT. And also, I'd like to say good morning as well to you, Sec Malaya, the ILG. And yeah, as mentioned by Aki, the government has instituted this particular safety seal program in order to boost confidence among consumers, particularly in the various sectors critical to the economy. And one of these is, of course, tourism. And as we have known, the DOT or the tourism industry has particularly been very affected by this particular pandemic. Can you please show the next slide, please? And this particular safety seal program is of particular importance, in particular because of today, starting today, February 10, we will now be welcoming tourists without quarantine from visa-free countries. And this is a particular great development for stakeholders within the industry. And this particular safety seal program improves that particular confidence among consumers and in particular tourists, for them to be able to recognize that these establishments that they are patronizing are compliant with the minimum public health safety guidelines set forth by the government. And as of today, we have given 1,612 establishments to apply in the program, of which 1,582 were already released. These particular certificates have been given to establishments like hotels, restaurants within these hotels, meeting facilities, etc. And currently, there are just 30 applications in process for evaluation. And this particular safety seal issued by the DOT is valid up to 1 year, upon which it's linked to their accreditation. Now, once their accreditation expires or due for renewal, they would have to be reevaluated again for their particular safety seal applications. Among the regions, so NCR, Region 6, Region 4A have the most number of safety seal certificates released with 264, 168, and 161 safety seals issued respectively. Next slide, please. Now, and just as an update, for the rest of our partners. Now, this is also done in conjunction with vaccination of tourism workers, and currently, tourism workers in the country, about 92% targeted for vaccination have already been vaccinated. And NCR has the highest number of tourism workers vaccinated at 99%, followed by Region 5 and Region 3. And of particular accomplishment is that 100% of tourism workers are vaccinated in major tourism destinations like Baguio, Aurora, Coron, El Nido, Puerto Princesa. San Vicente, in Palawan, Mandaue, and Camiguin. No? And of course, boosters are also on the pipeline for these tourist markers. All of these are being done in conjunction with the reopening of the tourism industry. And as I mentioned earlier, while domestic tourism has been open since last December, depending on the alert level that particular region is in, we are particularly excited now because we are now opening to inbound tourism, and all these programs, safety seal, vaccination, and all those confidence building measures for the tourism industry would hopefully help us restart our tourism industry, not only for domestic tourism, but also for inbound. And I think that's all for us from the DOT with the updates on the Safety Seal program. Thank you at magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to begin by thanking the Department of Health and the Department of Tourism for their kind invitation to this program, yung ating Kapihan. Malugod at malusog na pagbati po sa inyong lahat na dumalo dito sa Kapihan session na ito kung saan tatalakayin natin ang proseso ng Safety Seal Certification na isang mahalagang programa ng ating pamahalaan sa pagtungon sa pandemyang ating hinaharap. I'd also like to thank and welcome our friends from the media, our DOH and DILG reporters who are reliable partners in delivering factual and timely information to the people. My dear friends, we open here our health experts' advice that prevention is better than cure, which of course is most important during pandemics. Thus, the DILG has been collaborating with the Department of Health as well as many other government agencies on managing the transmission of COVID-19 in the country by ensuring that minimum public health standards are enforced or promoted by local government units among their constituents. At dahil nga po pinipilit nating bumangon sa pamamagitan ng unti-unting pagbubukas ng ating ekonomiya, inilunsad po natin noong nakaraang taon itong Safety Seal Program na titiyak sa kaligtasan at kaligtasan ng mga mamimili sa mga establishmento at maging sa kanilang pagpunta sa mga tanggapan o opisina ng ahensya ng gobyerno. Next slide, please. As stated in the IATF Resolution number 87, the Safety Seal Program aims to increase compliance by private or public entities with minimum public health standards. It also encourages the use of modern technology in managing COVID-19 transmissions, leading to increased consumer confidence. So kasama po sa mga minomonitor ng DILG as part of the Safety Seal program is the use of the Stay Safe app, which can easily be downloaded and installed on our smartphones. In 2021, we have recorded a total of 8,956,624 Stay Safe users. Meron pong 123,000 business establishments and organizations that are utilizing the application, which includes 11,284 government offices, 5,278 organizations, 16,855 LGUs, and 89,586 companies. So, parte po ng Safety Seal Certification Program ang promotion of the Stay Safe usage by business establishments. So in May of last year, the Department of Interior and Local Government issued Memorandum Circular number 2021-053, which serves as the implementing guidelines on the Safety Seal program for both the DILG and the local government units as issuing authorities. ang aming pong kalihim si Secretary Eduardo Año ay nanawagan sa publiko na mag-apply para sa isang safety seal. Though it is not mandatory, it is highly encouraged since it will help them assure their consumers and themselves that they are compliant with minimum public health standards set by the government. Nagpapasalamat po kami kay Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez, Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello, and of course, Tourism Secretary Berna Puyat, who echoed the sentiments of Secretary Año, emphasizing the significance of the Safety Seal program in boosting the confidence of consumers, workers, stakeholders that will lead us towards economic recovery. So ito na po ang status report ng Safety Seal program as of February 8 of this year. Pareho pong ang DILG at ang LGUs nag-i-issue ng Safety Seal. Pag DILG po, yan po kami po ang nagsa-certify sa mga government offices, mga opisina ng gobyerno, national man or lokal. At ang mga LGUs naman po nagsa-certify ng kanilang mga establishmento, maliban na lamang kung yung establishmento yun ay sinecertify na ng DOT, for example, DTI or DOLE. So meron pong listahan ng mga establishmento na ang in charge ang bawat ahensya ng pamahalaan. So for the DILG, there was a total of 42,548 applications for the safety seal, of which 19,092 were approved and 7,653 were denied or deferred. Meanwhile, the LGUs have received a total of 57,217 applications, of which 40,047 establishments were approved and 454 were denied or referred to other agencies. Thus, a total of 99,765 applications. Thus, of the total 99,765 applications, 59,139 was approved and 8,107 were denied or referred by the DILG and the local government units. Aside from persistently campaigning for the safety seal, the DILG has also been active in monitoring the implementation of COVID-19 restrictions and minimum public health standards in establishments. This is done with the help of LGUs and the Philippine National Police, who are conducting inspections of business establishments to ensure compliance with COVID-19 guidelines and for LGUs to issue show cause orders against violators. Next slide, please. So makikita po natin dyan ang breakdown ng DILG issued or processed safety seal applications per region. At makikita po natin na marami ang regions 1, no, NCR, no, at regions 6 sa mga regions na maraming nag-apply at na-issuehan ng safety seal. Next slide, please. Yan naman po ang regions 8 to BARM, no? At may mga regions tayo na hindi pa ganun kadami ang na-i-issuehan ng safety seal, no? Kumpara sa ibang rehiyon. Next slide, please. And this is the local government unit issued safety seals, no, from NCR to regions 6. So as we can see, since napakarami ng business establishments issued that are present in the National Capital Region, NCR yung may pinakamaraming establishments issued with a safety seal. Next slide, please. And these are the data for LGU issued safety seals from regions 8 to BARM. Next slide, please. Ayan. So, we also have issued a stern warning to establishments that their safety seals could be revoked if they are not consistently implementing the provisions of the guidelines issued, no? Because when you are issued a safety seal, there is a responsibility on your part to continuously comply. Ang mga safety seals po na issued ng DILG are valid for 6 months only. And it will have to be renewed every 6 months. Bakit po 6 months kami? Dahil kuminsan po nagmimintis ang ating mga kababayan, nagiging complacent, so it is important for us to do a reinspection again after 6 months to ensure that they are continuously complying with the provisions of the memorandum circular. All right, so I'd like to share with you some accomplishments of the safety seal for January of this year. Last month, various establishments and local government offices were inspected and awarded the seal, like the DILG Aurora in Regions 3, the Baler Municipal Police Station, and the Bureau of Fire Protection Fire Station in Zambales and in Tarlac. In Calabarzon, various barangays in Lucena, the BJMP Lucena City District Jail, and the BFP Municipal Station in Binyan, Laguna were also awarded the safety seal, while the Philippine Ports Authority in Balanacan, Marinduque, in Mimaropa also received the seal. The DILG has also been active in information dissemination about the Safety Seal program, especially on social media. We have produced video ads promoting the Safety Seal program, featuring our Disiplina Muna ambassadors, RC Munoz, Dieter Ocampo, James Deacon, and Paulo Bidiones. Next slide, please. One notable effort too was DILG Region 9. So these are the safety seal certifications in Lucena City. Next slide. Also in Lucena City in January 10. Next slide. And this is the Bureau of Fire Protection in Binyan. And the Philippine Ports Authority in Marinduque. In Regions 9, they also conducted a lot of inspections with leading to the issuance of the safety seal. Some regions also implemented the safety seal program dashboard and portal. A dashboard or a section tab was created by Region 7 on their website, while the DILG National Capital Region Calabarzon created a separate safety seal program portal. So bago po matapos ang aking presentation sa araw na ito, let me take this opportunity to encourage the public, especially those who are unvaccinated or who have already have one dose, or those who need a booster, to get jabbed in our third national vaccination drive from February 10 to 11. Sinisiguro po ng ating pamahalaan na lahat ng ating mga bakuna ay ligtas, epektibo at libre, wala po tayong babayaran. So let's take advantage of this program, especially the kids ages 5 to 11. Ang lahat po ng programang ginagawa ng DILG at ng mga LGUs under the Safety Seal program is our commitment to promote peace and order, ensure public safety, strengthen the capability of LGUs through active citizen participation. So sa unti-unti po nating panunumbalik ng masiglang ekonomiya sa bansa sa gitna ng patuloy na COVID-19 vaccination program ng ating pamahalaan, patuloy rin po ang pagpupursige ng DILG na mas marami pang mga negosyo ang makakuha ng seal. Kaya paalala po sa ating mga kababayan, sa inyong pamamasyal o pagpunta sa mga public or probadong establishmento, hanapin po natin ang safety seal sticker sa entrance ng mga malls o kaya naman mga business establishments para makasiguro tayo na tayo ay ligtas pagpasok natin dito. Muli, maraming salamat po muli sa Department of Health, sa inyo at mga partners natin sa media for joining us in this Kapihan session. Maraming salamat at mabuhay.
Maraming salamat po, Yusek Malaya and Director Veer, for that very extensive presentation on the safety seal accomplishments of both the DILG and the DOT. I would like to apologize po for the connectivity issues that I incurred earlier. So truly, with the safety seal program, our COVID-19 response is holistic, with agencies working together specifically towards the continuous safe reopening of our economy. Now, moving forward, we will now proceed to the questions from our media partners. Again, we have our media partners raising their hands, and we will be acknowledging them for them to directly ask the questions to Yusek Malaya and to Director Veer. For our first question po, we have Red Mendoza of the Manila Times. Red, you may now ask your question. Thank you.
Hi po, good morning po, Yusek Malaya, Yusek Jonathan, Director Virgilio. First to Yusek Jonathan, Yusek, ask ko lang po kasi I noticed dun sa figures po, sa DILG applications, 42,000 ang nag-apply pero 19,000 lang yung na-approve and 7,652 yung na-deny. And sa LGU po, mas marami po yung mga na-approve nila out of the 57,217 applications. Why is that po ba? Mas matindi po ba yung application process po sa DILG side? Because as you said earlier, ang inaano nga po ini-inspect nga po ng DILG are government offices. And ilan po ba sa mga, meron po ba mga ilang mga noted government offices po ba na nakapasa sa safety seal standards sa safety seals po natin?
Okay. Yes, thank you, Red. Tama po yan. Mas mahigpit nga po ang DILG sa pagpoproseso ng safety seal applications. Marami nga kaming nadi-deny o kaya naman pag-apply sa amin, hindi naman pala sa amin, kaya nare-refer sa ibang government agencies. Marami talaga kaming nadi-deny kasi yung punto namin ay government must be the first to comply with the regulations and it must comply strictly with it. Kasi pag hindi natin sinunod ang sarili nating pamantayan, paano tayo susundin ng ating mga kababayan? So we really make sure that all of the requirements are followed and that the documents that are submitted by the various government offices are complete para hindi po tayo mapulaan ng ating mga kababayan na may safety seal nga pero hindi naman nasusunod, no? So yun, marami na po, no? Pag DILG po kasi ang mga ini-issuehan namin mga kapitolyo, barangay hall, police stations, fire stations, no? Kung minsan mga national government agencies, nakita nyo kanina, Philippine Ports Authority, mga jails natin, lahat po yan ini-inspect ng DILG so long as they make an application to us.
Follow up lang po, Malacanang Congress, Senate, nag-apply din po ba sila ng safety seal applications po?
Alam mo, that's a good question. Hindi ko pa nakikita. No? Pero nakakasiguro ako na ang Malacanang very strict. In fact, hindi ka nga makakapasok doon kung wala kang RT-PCR test. No? And then an antigen test on the day that you are there. Hindi lang ako ganun ka-familiar sa Congress, no? And the other government agencies kung nakapag-apply nga sila sa amin.
Okay po. Last question po kay Director Virgilio. Director, ilan pong mga convention facilities po natin ang nag-apply ng safety seal across the country? I know na most of the convention facilities are inside hotels, pero meron din po mga standalone convention facilities. So, ilan po sa mga convention facilities, both hotel-based and standalone-based, ang nabigyan na po ng safety seal? And meron po kasi isang concern na may mga ilang convention facilities na may sarili pa pong contact tracing app aside pa po doon sa stay safe. So, is that allowed po ba sa pag-apply po ng safety seal on the tourism properties po, Director?
Yeah, thank you, Red, for that question. We'll have to get the figures, hihimayin natin po yung And I'll try to post it here in the chat room later. No? But you're correct, no? Convention facilities kailangan po ding mag-apply. No? Although it has to be stressed, as mentioned earlier by Yusek Malaya, that application is voluntary, no, for this, no. But yes, no, hotels, ang sinecertify po ng DOT ay yung mga hotels, travel and tour agencies, meeting facilities, o yung mga MICE venues, at saka mga restaurants, no. For the exact number, I'll have to pull out my data and then I'll try to post it here. And for your question, second question, Sir Red.
Yun po, kasi nagpunta ako sa isang convention and meron silang isang hiwalay na tracing app aside pa po sa stay safe na minamandate natin under the safety seal. Is that okay lang po ba? Kasi baka naman po kasi magkaroon ng doubling registration medyo hassle na nga po yun kasi we are already mandating stay safe pero meron pa po silang sariling tracing app.
Yeah. Previously before, no, we have allowed that, no, yung separate, but now, no, with the JMC na kailangan na po na mag-interconnect, no, kailangan na po nating hiyakatin, no, yung ating mga establishments who have their own contact tracing apps actually interconnect with the government mandated stay safe app, no. So yun po ang trabaho po ng DOT, no. Aside from the fact that we have to enforce minimum public health standards, no, in all establishments, no, through the safety seal program, kailangan po din natin sabihan sa kanila, no, na mag-interconnect na po with the stay safe app.
Okay,
so if they have their own, they will have to interconnect theirs, no, with the stay safe.
Okay po. Salamat po Director Virgilio. Salamat po Yusek John at salamat
Thank you, Yusek, and thank you, Director Veer. Now we have Caroline Tongkin of CNN to ask her question.
Good morning po. This is for both speakers. Tatanong ko lang po sana, ano pong common concern, bakit hindi na-approve yung ibang establishments and ano pong klaseng establishments po yung pinakamarami na hindi na-approve?
Okay, so Director Magigat, I'll go, I'll answer the question first if it's okay with you. Karamihan po sa napansin namin when we do inspections of government offices is yung engineering solutions to the engineering issues, no? Kasi karamihan sa mga government offices dikit-dikit yung mga tables, no? Tapos walang clear ventilation, open air ventilation. So yan yung isa sa mga tinitingnan natin before we issue the safety seal. In fact, ang approach nga namin sa isang malaking building, for example, isang malaking City Hall, sabihin natin City Hall, pwedeng hindi yung buong City Hall ang mabigyan mo ng seal. Pwedeng pa isa-isa sa mga opisina because every office is differently, has a different problem as opposed to the other office. So, yun na lagi namin nakikita, dikit-dikit and then wala mga barriers between the desks ng mga opisina. So, we ask them to rectify that first before they are issued a safety seal. Kaya marami tayong nadi-deny o marami tayong dinidefer in the meantime. Kasi yung iba madali lang, no? Yung maglagay ng temperature check, mag-check ng vaccination card, maglagay ng stay safe QR code, no? But the engineering solution sometimes take time. At yan po yung nakikita kong isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit madami tayo nadi-deny ng mga applications from government offices.
Yeah, for the DOT, on the part of DOT naman, no, we just have to stress, no, that kung maalala niyo po, no, ang mga hotels natin ginagamit na quarantine facility, nasa isolation, and during the first part of the pandemic, no, it was actually required by IITF, no, that they did this particular establishments, yung mga hotels, kailangan po magpa-accredit sa DOT. No, kasama po sa accreditation process na po na integrate na po natin yung mga checklist, no, for For example, yung hotel, meron tayong checklist for public areas, meron tayong checklist for the rooms, dun sa front desk. So marami pong nakalista po na ating mga requirements na para i-observe ng ating mga establishments. So generally, and since the focus of the DOT very narrow, yung mga establishments ng hotels, travel and tour agencies, meeting rooms, medyo maliit lang po ang nare-reject, kasi since the start, when IATF said that this particular establishment should get a DOT accreditation, nailagay na po natin yung mga requirements. So examples dito, yung mga rooms should have provision of sanitation kits per guest. Sa common areas, meron po dapat may dispenser na 70% solution, alcohol. So mga ganong klase nailagay na po. So and for dining, for ancillaries, meron pong nakalista po na ating mga required procedures for each of the areas of the hotels. Kaya po medyo mababa lang po ang na-reject. Although, of course, if there are complaints from guests or from visitors that this particular hotel is not compliant, we actually do send our regional teams to check and inspect as part of the process where we have to monitor the compliance of our tourism establishments. Yun lang po.
Then my second question po, this is for Undersecretary Malaya. Sir, since we're talking about LGUs following protocols and guidelines, did Cebu consult the DILG regarding its new policy allowing unvaccinated foreigners to enter the province, which is actually contrary to the IATF resolution, which only allows fully vaccinated foreigners po?
Yeah, I'm not aware. I'm not aware if the province of Cebu consulted our DILG regional office or even the central office on this policy. And as you yourself correctly pointed out, the IATF policy should be followed. So insofar as consultation with us is concerned, I am not aware if the province of Cebu consulted us. And even if they did consult us, we would not be in a position to grant the request precisely because it was the IATF that issued that policy. It should be the IATF who should act on it.
Okay. Sir, kasi I'm just wondering, kasi this is not the first time that Cebu province actually kumbaga issued a guideline or resolution po kasi na hindi aligned totally with the national policy. Pag ganun po ba, sir, LGUs are allowed to kumbaga tweak the protocols?
Technically no. Technically no. I am familiar with what you're referring to. This is not the first time that a similar predicament happened. It already happened in the past, but we were able to resolve that also amicably with the province of Cebu. So I think the course of action moving forward is to do again a dialogue with the province of Cebu so that they can conform with the policies of the national government. The local governments may tweak if the policy is unclear or if the national policy allows them to go beyond what is provided. But in this case, the policy is very clear as to the entry of individuals to the country. So I think moving forward, what we have to do is to dialogue with the province of Cebu.
Thank you po. And then finally na lang po for the Department of Tourism, nasaan po yung 7.5% na unvaccinated po na tourism workers? Thank you po.
Yeah, we'll have to pull out the data as well, but generally, the vaccination rates, ang tinatarget po kasi natin yung mga frontline workers, especially mga nasa hotel natin, but we'll have to check on the 7 point something unvaccinated, but generally, it's part of the DOT policy, now that we are reopening, na kailangan po natin i-encourage or through the help of our LGUs, to seek out those workers who have not yet been vaccinated. No? But yung from the reports that we have, no, the main reasons that some of these workers would not be able to get the required vaccination, ay meron silang medical condition that would have to exempt them from getting one. Some for religious reasons, no? But in those cases, no, generally kapag yung mga hotel workers na yun, they would have to be assigned in non-frontline work, no? So medyo sa back office, for example, but not really in servers or those working with customer-facing functions, so yung mga nakikisalamuha sa mga guests, no? And I hope I have answered that, and get the details later on. But to answer as well the question of Mr. Red earlier, no, on where yung mga MICE facilities, no, na merong nabigyan ng safety seal, ito po ay nasa total is 23, of which 12 are in NCR, 4 in Region 4A, 2 in Region 6 or Western Visayas, 1 in Central Visayas, 2 in Region 9 or Zamboanga Peninsula, and 2 as well in Region 12. So yun po yung breakdown ng ating mga MICE facilities na merong safety seal. For the specific names of this, no, I'll get it separately.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Director Veer and Yusek Malaya. I would like to remind our media partners to please stick to our topic for today, which is on the safety seal accomplishments of the DOT and the DILG. Now, moving on, we have Lay Alvis po to ask her question. Lay?
Good morning po. For Yusek Malaya, sabi po ng DOH in preparation for the de-escalation to alert level 1, kailangang tingnan yung compliance sa safety seal ng establishments. Can we quantify in terms of percentage yung compliance sa safety seal nationwide and in NCR? Same question po for Director Magigad para naman sa tourism establishments.
Well, napakarami kasi mga negosyo ang nandito, for example, sa Kamaynilaan and all over the country, no? Some LGUs have more than 10,000, more than 20,000 business establishments. From the very beginning, we have the concept of the safety seal was never a mandatory issuance. It was never conceptualized to be a mandatory requirement. Kasi nga, kung gagawin nating mandatory, magiging additional burden sa ating mga business establishments sa pagbubukas ng ating ekonomiya. So, the concept from the very beginning was this was a badge of honor. Pag may safety seal ako, this is to increase consumer confidence and help the economy and help in the economic recovery of our country. So, kung kaya mahirap magbigay ng mga percentages kasi hindi naman siya mandatory. If this is a mandatory program, then necessarily maglalabas kami ng percentage. But given na hindi naman po ito mandatory program, it would be difficult for us to provide you with the data on how much or how many safety seals were issued as a percentage compared to the total number of business establishments.
For Director Magigad, sa tourism establishments po, at least for the tourism establishments, can we quantify po in terms of percentage ng compliance?
I believe Director Magidad has a connectivity issue. So he's not in the room now.
Okay. I'll go to my next question for Yusek Malaya then. Yusek, could you please refresh our memory lang po, ano po ba yung tinitingnan po para po ma-issuehan ng safety seal ng isang establishment?
Yes. Thank you for the question, Lay. So these are the eligibility requirements to obtain a safety seal. And ito pong requirements na ito, these are uniform across all government agencies that issue them. So unang-una, kailangan may mayor's permit, no? Basic, no? Or in the case of the DTI, who naghahanap sila ng DTI registration or DOT accreditation on the part of the Department of Tourism. So pag nag-applyan ang negosyo for a safety seal, walang mayor's permit, talagang denied na yan kaagad, no? Pangalawa is the safety stay safe contact tracing app QR code para hindi na siya papel, no? Digital logbook. We will utilize the digital logbook feature of the stay safe application. And then enforcement of minimum public health standards as may be applicable, okay? So doon sa mga malalaking establishments, they have to put a triage, no, or a screening area where they submit their where their symptoms are assessed, temperature check, okay, and registration with stay safe, or an isolation area for asymptomatic or positive COVID-19 cases. Para to sa mga malalaking establishmento gaya ng mga planta, no, ng mga factories, no. So as may be applicable ito, no. Again, availability of hand washing stations, soap, sanitizers, hand drying equipment, okay. And then observance of physical distancing or spacing. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na medyo hirap ang mga government offices dito, yung physical barriers, installation of physical barriers, sorry. So yes, yun. So in offices and other establishments. Then meron tayong adequate air exchange in indoor areas, no? So merong DOLE Department Order number 224-21, which are the guidelines on ventilation for workplaces and public transport to prevent and control the spread of COVID-19. So yung mga Jollibee, yung mga establishments na aircon, they have to comply with the adequate air exchange as provided in the DOLE Department Order. Then meron tayong disinfection protocol under DOH regulations, yung regular sanitation of chairs, desks, tables, counters, pens, doorknobs, workstations, comfort rooms, and other high-touch surfaces. And of course, wearing of face mask, no, of all people going in and out. The requirement, the establishment of a referral system for medical and psychosocial services, sorry. And then finally, designation of a safety officer. And the safety officer in that establishment coordinates with appropriate bodies for support and referral to community-based isolation facilities, undertake contact tracing, or coordinate the conduct thereof, and implement return to work policies. Those are the eligibility requirements to be issued a safety seal across all government offices.
Isang last question po from my end. Since hindi naman po nababantayan 24/7 ang compliance ng establishments sa minimum public health standards, may mechanism po ba where the public can report to the government?
Yes, there is. In fact, for the local government units, complaints can be lodged with the Business Permits and Licensing Office. Ito ang ano pa dito, Lay, is a continued violation of the safety seal requirements can lead to the suspension of the business permit or mayor's permit, or even the revocation of the mayor's permit. So usually nakikita natin yan dun sa seal, kung ano yung issuing office, and that issuing office can be contacted by the complainant para ma-revoke yung seal, or a warning can be issued by the local government unit. Ganun din sa DILG, nakalagay din doon sa mga safety seals na ini-issue namin kung sino yung issuing authority. And also for the Department of Tourism, they can also revoke the and all of the issuing authorities may also revoke upon the filing of complaints with the relevant office.
Okay, thank you po, Yusek.
Thank you, Lay.
Thank you, Yusek Malaya. Lay, I believe you have a question for Director Veer. He's already in the room.
Yeah, pardon, I was disconnected earlier. Yeah.
Director Magigad, tatanong ko lang po if we can quantify in terms of percentage yung compliance po ng tourism establishments sa safety seal po. Kung ilan na po yung may safety seal.
Okay, as mentioned earlier, no, since this is voluntary, it's a voluntary program of the government. No, it would be difficult, no, to say na that they're compliant kung lahat-lahat na. Pero meron lang po tayo na ganito po, no, just to put everything in perspective, no, whether or not the establishment, for example, hotels would apply for a safety seal with the DOT, no, kailangan na po nilang maging compliant, no, kasi nga po na-integrate na po yung checklists, no, for as part of their operations, no. For example, if one establishment will be applying for accreditation, nakalink na po kasi yung accreditation natin with all of these minimum public health standards, no. So in effect, we're saying that most of the establishments are already compliant, no. It's just a formality na kailangan nila mag-apply ng safety seal if they would want to, no. So generally speaking, no, if we consider all establishments as compliant, no, since we have already integrated this with the accreditation process of the DOT, mataas po ang percentage, no, especially for establishments required to get accreditation, no. Now, having said that, no, yung naibigay po natin na figures, no, na nag-apply sa atin, no, totaling as of the latest, no, 1,500 plus applicants, no. Yun lang po ang nabigyan, since this is a voluntary program, yun lang po ang formally na nag-apply for safety seal, no. But this does not say na yung mga nag-apply lang ay compliant, no, kasi nga po parte na po ng accreditation system ng DOT yung compliance to minimum public health standards. So yun lang po.
Thank you po, sir.
Director V, now for our last set of questions for today, we have Aiko Miguel from UNTV po.
Yes po, good morning po, Yusik Malaya and sir po. Just like to ask po, sir, ano ang nakikita nating challenges renewal ng safety seal after 6 months? Yusek Malaya, you mentioned earlier that you have given a stern warning to some establishments. Ano ang madalas po nating nakikita na violations sa protocols or need to be strictly implemented for their safety seal renewal? Same with the tourism sector po. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiko. Madaling ma-check yung mga engineering solutions, yung mga hand washing stations, yung mga temperature check, yun ang madaling ma-check, no. Ang hindi madaling ma-check yung for example yung nagsascan ng safety seal, ng Stay Safe app, kasi minsan yung mga tao na tinatamad na, no, at yung mga security guard hindi na rin nag-i-implement, no. Yun yung medyo mahirap, no, at hindi naman kasi natin nababantayan 24 hours yung mga business establishments. So it's more of the day-to-day activities. Kaya nga may requirement tayong safety officer. Ang safety officer supposedly is the one that's in charge of reminding all of the employees to, for example, do regular disinfection, no? Yung regular disinfection na every now and then ay nagdi-disinfect using alcohol or other disinfectant products yung mga high-touch areas. Ayun yung mga bagay na hindi natin nababantayan. Kaya ang ginawa ng DILG at ng LGU, yung aming renewal is 6 months, every 6 months, while the other government agencies are 1 year. Kami 6 months para mas nababantayan natin yung continued compliance ng mga business establishments.
Thank you po, Yusek. Would also like to ask the same question po with Sir Magidad. Thank you po.
Yeah, for yung challenges naman ng DOT, no, with regard to monitoring, no, the main challenge lang po ay ang DOT po kasi wala po tayong mga opisina sa probinsya at sa mga municipal city level. So we only have regional offices around the country, and that's one of the considerations. Kasi nga po, yung setup ng DOT po hanggang regional lang. No? Ngayon, we work around that particular difficulty, no, by integrating nga, no, yung some of the checklists, no, with our accreditation procedures and monitoring activities, no, para po matutuhog natin na yung isang checking mabisita po minsanan, and then during the monitoring, yung regular checking kapag mga spot checks ng ng central office, for example, among establishments, yan lang po ang workaround solution po natin, no, with those kinds of checks. Now, with the reopening of the Philippines, no, to inbound tourism, no, and medyo maluwag-luwag na po yung move ng ating mga staff across regions, no, to check mga establishments natin po, mas lalo po nating mababantayan ang compliance ng ating mga more so na ngayon nga nag-open na tayo, no, kailangan po nating gawan po ng mas maraming inspections pa.
Thank you, sir. And another question po, paano po ang coordination with, for example, like food delivery services? How would a consumer know if a restaurant has a safety seal? Kasi sa mga apps po, hindi po nakikita if a restaurant has a safety seal registered po. Ibig sabihin po ba lahat ng restaurants registered in a food delivery service ay mayroon na pong safety seal? How would the consumers check that po?
Alam mo, magandang suggestion yan, Aiko, no? Kasi it's a badge of honor, so the business establishment can actually display the logo of the seal in any of their social media accounts or in their website, no? But I don't see a lot of them utilizing that. Maybe we can encourage them to do so. Kasi pag meron na silang safety seal, pwede mong ilagay yan sa mga accounts mo across the internet. And for example, SM is very proud of their safety seal. You can see that in their social media accounts. So maybe what we can do is we can encourage them to display their logo in all of their communication platforms.
Thank you po, Yusek. Thank you, Aki. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That's all the questions that we can accommodate for today. Before we end our Kapihan session, may we ask our speakers to further closing messages. We have Yusek Malaya, then Director Magidan.
Okay. So, gaya po ng sinabi ko kanina, we continue to encourage the public to appreciate the program and tangkilikin yung mga establishments na gumagamit ng safety seal o kaya naman nakakuha ng safety seal. And for the business establishments to also continue to renew their applications, their accreditation with the safety seals, issuing authorities, and to apply kung hindi pa sila nakakapag-apply. Let me just emphasize, no, may benefit, maliban sa it's a badge of honor, the safety seal gives an additional 10% occupational capacity to the business establishment depending on the alert level. So here in Metro Manila, since we are on alert level 2, 50% yung ating base, the issuance of a safety seal allows us to go beyond to 60% because there's an additional 10% operational capacity. So malaking tulong din po sa inyo ito in terms of your business. Maraming salamat.
So on behalf of the Department of Tourism also, no, hinihikayat po natin na ating mga consumers, especially those who will be traveling in the peak travel months, no, summer is coming, no, we'd have to patronize facilities and establishments who have, aside from having the DOT safety or accreditation, no, meron po dapat silang safety seal niya, just to assure them that they're in safe hands, that they'll be enjoying a safe vacation or a better service for them, no? So yung nga po ang wish po ng DOT, no, that with the reopening of the tourism industry to inbound and of course within the country, no, we'd have a better economy in the next possibly this coming year, no? And a lot of these tourism workers are actually counting on the resurgence of the industry, no? Kasi nga po marami pong nasalanta na kabuhayan dahil po dito sa pandemya. And itong safety seal program na po ito ang isang paraan po na mahikayat ang ating mga turista na to and be assured that they'll be traveling in safe environments, no? So on behalf of the DOT, we'd like to thank as well our partners, no? And especially the media would have a very big role in encouraging compliance, no? By asking our travelers, no, to be on the lookout, the patronizing establishments with this particular safety seal. So magandang umaga po sa inyo.
And maraming salamat po, Yusek Malaya and Director Magidad for accommodating us despite your very busy schedule, and also to our media partners and to our viewers for attending our Kapihan for today. So that ends our Kapihan session for today po. Keep safe